And we're back. Episode 7 with Isaac
and Philip. And today's super special guest, all the way from Minnesota. Minnesota.
That's right. That's you.
This guy.
Dr. Kenneth Wilson.
Ken'll do.
Ken'll do.
Ken'll do.
Dr. Ken. Do you go by Dr. Ken? Dr. Wilson.
There's a lot of practice members say Dr. Ken.
Yeah.
I prefer not Dr. Wilson. I feel it's bad to say, I don't know, but I feel like a really old dentist if they say like Dr. Wilson. So I
Just a retro name.
I prefer Dr. Ken. You know, Ken's fine too.
Yeah.
Some of the parents actually teach their kids like when they're in the office, like say Dr. Ken. It sounds really respectful, and so
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Ken works. Ken totally works.
Ken.
Yeah.
We'll call you Ken.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Doctor of Chiropractic.
That's me. I've done that. Still doing it. Still doing it. Got the license and stuff. I stay up to date with the license too.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
For everyone who goes through practice.
Of course.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we started school together. We finished school together.
That's right.
Like we were there every step of the way.
Yeah.
We had a lot of sauna sessions and
Late nights.
hot tub.
Late nights. I
Yep.
still don't know how you stayed up that late. Couldn't do it.
Can you now? Can you stay up later now?
I can stay up later, but I cannot wake up as early as I used to.
Oh, man. It's one or the other, isn't it?
Stay up late or wake up early.
Yeah.
Or you're one of those people that can just handle it.
And just doesn't need sleep.
I'm not one of those.
I'm not one of those.
Me either.
So we all need sleep.
We all need sleep. Are you a night owl? You stay up late?
I can be.
Yeah.
I kind of, I don't know. There was a time where it was mostly that. Now I feel like I get up early almost every day out of necessity and I'm just okay with it.
Got to get to the gym.
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30
Gyms.
at the rec center.
Yes.
Open invitation.
Come see us.
You'll find some fellas there.
Yep. These
Yeah.
two unfiltered.
Those two.
Yeah, not this guy.
He's from Minnesota.
Those two.
Dr.
He
Ken.
will not be there.
No.
No.
Although,
Or you could be.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 in my in-laws' garage gym.
Very valuable.
You can meet me there.
if you're in the Minnesota area, just
Yeah,
look him up.
An hour north of the cities. We'll connect.
Ken. Just look up Ken, and
That's
you'll
right.
figure him out.
Garage gym. That,
Yeah.
that could be a nice little thing to discuss. Have you done like gyms versus the garage gym, and what's your take on both?
Like an actual sanctioned gym every time.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
they have a
just
license
have everything.
and
Well,
a
you
name
don't even
and-
need the license. You could have rusty equipment, but they got more. They have more. You know, I was telling Philip I haven't touched a barbell in oh boy, a year
really.
maybe.
What do you
So-
work out with in
Yeah.
the garage gym?
Dumbbells, cables,
Okay.
dumbbells and some cables.
Body weight
Yeah,
stuff.
I've been doing more body weight stuff. Yeah, a lot of air squats, a lot of pull-ups. Yeah,
Like CrossFit style?
I've been
or-
doing more functional movements. Yeah,
Okay.
it's been fun.
Define functional movements.
Maybe more, I'll say compound. Like instead of just
Right on.
sitting there with an isolated bicep curl, it'd be like a squat and overhead dumbbell press. More muscle movements at the same time.
Right on. Activating more muscle groups at one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're thinking about your workout and then thinking about how to hit as many muscle groups at one time.
Yes and no.
Okay.
The no part being like I still kind of go into the workout like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, chest and back. But when I'm doing chest and back, I'm hitting every part of the back, low, mid, upper, and then every part of the chest.
Right on.
And then arms and or shoulders and legs. But anyway,
Is that like your favorite thing you've done up to this point as far as a workout goes?
honestly, I once I start working out, I have a blast. I love it. The blood's pumping, getting stronger, a lot of tension. You feel the pain, like the good pain. Love it. But getting out of bed, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm not gonna lie, that's hard.
No matter what gym you go to, that's
Yeah, it doesn't
That's the
matter
hard
gym
part.
name. That's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
we take like a 10-minute sit on a bench when we it's like we
I
just
look
gotta
forward to
ease
that.
in.
I really look forward to that. It's just like a really peaceful, calming time where you've made it to the gym. The hard part is over. You showed up. And now it's just then you transition to let's get to work.
Yeah. Sometimes the hard part is the work.
Sometimes the hard part is, well, I don't know. Yeah,
Thinking of
you're
one,
right.
one moment. in
One.
particular. Sorry.
That's fine.
I about lost it the other day at the gym, and I made a funny noise, so that's all.
Been there.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me.
We're pumped
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you.
me. I am
for sure.
super stoked to be here. When I came down those stairs and saw this setup, was definitely impressed. It's super cool.
Right on.
I hope that my answers from the questions can help more people, give them value, whether that's in business, whether that's in their spiritual life, whether that's in any of the 4 pillars that I'm sure we will talk about more about.
Yeah.
I just hope they find value from it and can use it to better themselves.
You've been in my top 5 guest list since the beginning, since dreaming about this and dreaming who would be on this podcast. Ken Wilson has been up there for me. So
Honored.
yeah,
Honored.
Well,
I hope I can live up to that then. I hope I can bless some people here then.
let's do it.
All right. I'm ready. Sure. Let's do it.
Do you want to just get right into it?
Yeah.
I want to know a moment or experience in life that taught you about who you are.
So not like favorite book or anything like that. Just
too easy to start out.
All right. So question one more time then. We're like really jumping into it. All right.
We'll get to the book later.
Yeah,
Book and movie later.
Sure.
But I mean, because unfiltered, this is not. I've said this a couple of times. Usually when the camera is not on, but unfiltered is not a green light or a license to say whatever we want to say.
That's good.
We still want to be
Safe.
respectful. We still want to just bring truth. This is not just a big jam opinion rag sesh on what we think is wrong with life, right? Yep. But unfiltered is about cutting the filters away from us, and especially you, guest. You're kind of on the hot seat now. As we want to get to why do you do the things that you do? Why are you the way that you are?
Okay.
Which throws me back to an old notebook. The Notebook, Nicholas Sparks. I mean, you got to respect the guy. He had good romance stories.
Talking about the movie right now?
The movie right now.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you want?
That's one of my favorite memes when it's talking about that a woman can't pick where they want to go.
Pick a
eat.
restaurant.
Yeah. It's a good, take it what you want, but it's a funny meme.
It's a funny one. Anyway.
All right. Question again.
Why are you the way that you are?
Oh boy.
One moment or experience in life that taught you about who you really are.
I think questions kind of similar to this. A roundabout answer wouldn't be taught me who I really am, but I think taught me who I'm supposed to be. I think if anyone's listened to any of the podcast, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you'll know that guys are clearly Christians, right? Jesus is first. Christ is the cornerstone. And so, big one in particular. So I've helped all around the Twin Cities, multiple practices, either from startups of 0 patients a week all the way from, 500 patients a week, or helped people that are around 200 want to get, to serve more people, to really impact more of the population in which they're in, whether that's families, whether that's pediatrics specifically. And one of the businesses that I helped go from 0 to 150, spent a lot of time, energy, blood, sweat, and tears, I think is the saying, right?
That's right.
Building got let go of very, very suddenly. It definitely was not expected. And how I was able to handle that taught me, one, how not to handle things, and then how to handle them in the right way, in the healthy way. And so it didn't really show me who I am, but who I'm supposed to be in it. And I'll stop there. Maybe you have further questions to dive deeper into that.
Well, I love that, phrase, or that's kind of what I want to dig into is who I am versus who I'm supposed to be. And I mean, you said it didn't really teach me who I am, but who I'm supposed to be. And so if you know who you're supposed to be, I guess the first thing I'm wondering is how do you go about figuring out who you are right now? And then how do you bridge the gap between there and who I'm supposed to be? Because that's kind of how, to me, that's getting into the tactics to help meet life's demands is I know this is what would be good for me to do, but how do I assess where I'm at right now and then make up what is lacking to get to what's going to be better for me in the long run?
I think the hardest part is realizing what you're going through, what's being thrown at you. There's a big difference, and I know you guys have alluded to this before, but there is a massive difference of life happening to you and for you, and just by becoming a victim to life or choosing to respond in a different manner. And so I think choosing who you are or finding out who you are in a sense, right? What's your identity type deal, and how you go about throughout the world meeting life's demands. it focuses on that reaction part. I think that's where the telescope just zooms in on it. So how did you react? Why did you react that way? And did that not just help you in there, but did that also help others in that situation? So I think, that was a deeper.
So I guess for me to, like, I'll elaborate a little bit because I think I can say that like a better way. Would you say like you take a look at the history, like the track record, and you say, okay, this situation, here's how the person I'm supposed to be would have responded, and measure that up against how I did respond to this situation. So, I mean, like, and we haven't talked much about like you and kids, but you've got kids.
I have three
kids.
Almost a 5-year-old, almost a 3-year-old, and a 7-month-old.
Amazing.
Boy, girl.
Awesome. So I imagine there's moments where you get to respond to some life situations when it comes to your kids.
I have many opportunities to respond better. Yeah.
Sure.
So for instance, like when you first asked the question, and I said I got let go of that business very abruptly. So, I mean, let's say anyone, they're doing well in business, but you're just starting. Entrepreneurship style, so you're ground up, hitting the ground running, and you have a mortgage or rent to pay, you have bills to pay, you have food, and you have kids to feed, and then all of a sudden there's zero more, like no more income, like you don't get next month's check or 2 more weeks, like it's just done. So let's take the world, like how would the average person handle it? I would say the first thing is an overabundance of anxiety and worry. Right? Just so much woe is me, right? So much of the fact that they're trying to figure out in their head, like, what to do next. How am I going to do all this? And people are probably going to be stuck in that area for a little while. But, and then after that might even lead to some sort of depression a little bit. But either way, a lot of the times those situations are met with inaction, where action needs to be the first thing. I've talked a lot about action with a lot of different people, especially through chiropractic school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Inaction, like in talking to people about their health, or in like coaching doctors and other students to...
All the above.
All the above.
All the above.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the hardest thing. Like, take someone's health, for example, right? Like, they're coming to you, let's just say classic back pain Bob. They want out of back pain, like, I'm going to do my one thing. I'm going to do very good at that. I'm going to get them adjusted. We're going to get their body functioning better, right? We're going to get their body restored to normal, because normal is brilliant. That's how God designed our bodies. And he did so very simply, by the way. We'll definitely talk about that later.
Yeah.
But you also notice, dang, like you're extremely tight. Stretching would really help you, Bob. But Bob never stretches. Like, you got to do something. I'm doing my part, Bob. This isn't like a magic pill.
Right.
You can't sit down 8, 10, 12 hours a day, go get adjusted once a week, and be okay.
You can't expect to.
There's stuff you can't logically expect to have better health with less action. Like, whatever, like we were talking about principles earlier, like whether we're talking about working out, business, marriage, dogs, kids, you name it. This podcast, like, certain health principles and truths go across all areas of life in all aspects. And so, the biggest one on my mind recently has been, and I got this term from, I don't remember if it was Andy Frisella or Gary Vaynerchuk. Either way, both use very colorful language, but it was aggressive patience. And it's talking about all those areas of life, and it's aggressively doing the day-to-day things that's going to move the needle forward. Right. So in business, let's say you got to make those phone calls. You got to call that person back. You got to follow up with them. You got to update this software, and you got to train in the new associate, whatever it may be. You got to get all those done in a day. Right. And you aggressively, relentlessly get all of that stuff done in a day, with the patience, knowing that if you're working your tail off and you're not quitting, the results will come. And again, so let's bring that to working out. If you're going 3 days a week, you don't stop, you're pushing yourself, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in the gym, the results are going to be there. It's just, what? Principle 6, time.
Time. There's no process which does not require time.
Truth.
Yeah.
Nothing but the truth.
For sure. So aggressive patience is about A, understanding the process, B, making time work for you, but C, like doing the dirty work and then reaping the harvest later.
Yeah, and I would even edit that saying like letting time do its thing.
Sure.
Knowing that if you can only do that stuff today, right? What is the saying? The past is a memory, the future is figurative or imagination. The only real thing is right now. So you can only do your stuff today. So the patience and the time part is let time do its thing.
Yeah. And I've heard you preach on this too, because, and you've talked about how patience is not passive.
Mm-hmm.
And patience is, I mean, sometimes you got to dig in
Yeah.
to take it, because it's not always a natural response to, it's not a natural response to the chaos that happens in the world, like in your recent situation. To touch back, do you have anything to say on that?
Well, I guess it goes along with what you're saying, but I would say it's, patience is steady. It's not just like, well, I'm going to wait and we'll just see what happens and I may freak out. Or, patience, I think, has an element of steadiness to it where, I can maintain composure. I can stay level even if things are getting wild. There's other things that would be a part of that too, but I think patience has a steadiness about it, and definitely that element of not passive. You use the term aggressive patience to go out and do like the day to day, and I could see that fitting, especially in some of like those business aspects. When I preach, a lot of the time it's incorporated with like faith and
Yes.
staying in a place of belief,
Yep.
even though I'm not seeing what I'm believing happen yet, which is what faith is. And patience is an element of faith. If you have
define faith again real quick.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And so I know it's a scripture. And so
Can't be Hebrews like 11:1, right?
Oh no, can't be that.
it wouldn't be that one.
I've reverted back to that definition many times
Yeah.
because it's a beautiful definition. Because people talk a lot about like just have faith, and they might not even be talking about Jesus all the time. They're talking about business. They're talking about anything, and like the assurance of things hoped for. I think is the most beautiful way to define faith.
Yeah. And I preach this a lot too, is faith has an action about it as well. And I think part of that is patience. I would say part of it is thankfulness, because if it's an assurance of something I'm hoping for, and hope is a future expectation of something, then if I'm assured that this thing I'm hoping for is going to happen, then I'm going to be thankful for it in the present, even if I haven't seen it happen yet. I liken it to when I order something off of Amazon. I have an expectation that package is going to be at my door in 2 business days.
That's right.
And so, I get excited when I see it on the doorstep, but I also get excited the second I buy it because I know it's coming to my doorstep and it's going to be there soon. And so faith, I think, is similar in the sense that I'm going to be able to be patient and wait because I know it's on the way. I'm going to have a thankfulness about it because I know it's coming and it's paid for and it's mine, and I've got it coming. And there's probably other aspects of it that we could go into, but those are kind of the 2 that are in me
So
now.
like real faith doesn't have an if factor or a what if factor.
No, if that's, I would say like hope. I would say that's like a hope, but really it's not even hope. It's a desire. What if is desire. It's like, it'd be nice if this happened, but I don't know if it will. So I would desire for this. I would want for this. It'd be nice if this, but the if is, I would say the if is a sign of unbelief.
Sure.
The if means
It's doubt creeping in.
I'm not sure. I don't have assurance that this thing I'm hoping for is coming to pass.
Like an Amazon package, like it's coming.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't come,
It's
then
not
you know.
like, what if it doesn't
What
come?
makes you know though? Is it experience? Like, hey, my last 100 packages did, or is it because they just said it? Like,
Oh, that's a good question.
you know what I mean?
Because there's a difference between your first time ordering from Amazon and your 100th time ordering from Amazon.
I don't want to pay. Like, let's just say it was more expensive. Too.
Sure.
And they said 2-day shipping express. It used to be a lot more expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
And you pay $14. You're like, but am I gonna get it in 2 days?
Right.
I think that's the hardest part.
Sure.
The actual assurance. Like you're unwavering. You're steady amidst the sea, and it's hard.
Well, and I love what you just brought up about it. I know it's a spiritual topic, but I think it's so good. That comes from seeing the faithfulness over time. And I think the way
The assurance does.
I think so. Yeah.
Assurance comes from seeing faithfulness.
Well,
over time.
I would say, yeah. I mean, maybe the first time there isn't all faith in it. Maybe it is just kind of like, I desire for this to be the truth, but
I strongly hope.
is it too good to be true? I don't know. But I think when you see it happen, then like your faith is built up in it. And I would even venture to say that like Romans 10:17, faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word. One of the reasons that faith comes by hearing the word is because you're seeing God faithful over and over and over again in all of the, heroes of the Bible in their life. It's like he did it there, he did it there, he did it there, he did it there. He
Makes
didn't
sense.
fail for any of them. And so if that's for me too, then he's the same.
Right.
Anyway.
I agree.
Faith.
I agree.
Yeah. Amen.
So,
Yeah.
What were we talking about before
Ken,
before I started preaching?
Oops. Sorry,
Ken,
guys.
Ken threw out the aggressive patience, and so my question revert back is that what you, in hindsight, now know you needed in this time when you were like cut off from this practice, or is that what you did?
That's what I did. I looked at it just like what you were saying, Isaac, that I didn't want to act how I knew the average response would be. And I already knew, based upon my experience with chiropractic or business and stuff like that, what had to be done anyway. Like I also didn't, give myself time to mope or pout. Was that probably happening on my drives to taking action or anything, or on my phone calls, applying to a lot of places in those next 3 months? Yeah. But I didn't allow it to creep in. And the way, like looking back, that my wife and I handled that whole situation was all a complete abundance of faith. Just like what you say, it was an assurance. Like things will be good.
Yeah.
Like I know that because I am alive and breathing, and so is my wife, there is a purpose and a plan for me. And God is not done with me yet.
Right.
I actually, a lot of times when I hear that, that just sparked my memory about my father-in-law. He's been in so many accidents, car accidents, motorcycle accidents. He is still here. God has a purpose and a plan for him. If that guy is not done yet.
Not done.
So, yeah.
Praise the Lord. You said something a little while ago, and you were talking about the like normal and how normal is good. And I guess I wanted to go into that a little bit because I think
Normal is brilliant.
Is that how you said it?
I did, and in specific reference to the human body.
Yeah.
Not anything else.
Sure.
Yet.
So I just wanted to tear into the wording because I do think like someone hears normal and they could maybe think like average.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what I just wrote down was like, because you said average and it was like in kind of a negative way.
Yes.
So I'm like normal, average.
All right. So do you want me, should I go into average first, or normal is brilliant? Normal is brilliant will take us down a realm more of the health and healing, and the average will probably keep us more where we're at.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go there?
Oh, I really want to go there.
Let's go there.
That normal
Normal is brilliant.
health and healing.
Normal is brilliant.
So normal is brilliant, and why I think that is vastly different than the average is because, Philip, you and I were talking in the car, and just to give an explanation of the average quick, something I've always, not always, but in the last 10 years of life, I would say have purposefully tried to run from average. I don't want it to be average, right? Like the classic example, C, grade C. I don't want that. If I can get an A, I'm going to try, especially if that means something to me down the road or it's part of where I want to go, right? Man, I don't know how deep we want to go into that one, but that's what I meant by I just run from mediocrity. I don't want to be stagnant, right? That's not growth. And no matter what you're talking about, whether again business, marriage, anything, if you're comfortable, you're not growing.
Okay, so I have to ask, when or how did you adopt that mindset?
That's a great question, but I think a lot of it started in early chiropractic school, or right before, when I started reading more books, and quite honestly, whether people on here are Christian or not, the Bible.
Sure.
It's so chock full of wisdom. but reading a lot of like, it's grouped into self-help books, but business books, and then the Bible. I think that's where it started.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right on.
Where was I going right before that?
Normal is brilliant.
Yes, and then we were talking about the average, and then stagnancy. I don't want to be stagnant, right? And I think, and then I was talking with your wife about this upstairs when we were making the coffee. It's really good. It's really good. I feel it. I feel it in my
You
face.
feeling it?
Right in my face. But
Well, I did sidebar into that later.
yeah.
Because we're drinking mushroom coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah, or at least you and I are. This
And get
guy's
this. This will throw the
straight
listeners
black.
off. There's butter too.
Butter in the coffee.
butter
weird
and
to a lot of
mushrooms
people.
and MCT oil.
I think mine's just coffee.
Yours is just coffee.
Weak.
So back to
Yeah.
that, the not being stagnant, and what I was talking with your wife about. I was talking about being content versus complacency. Complacent, like never. I forget how the saying goes, but I am never like complacent, meaning I'm always trying to grow. That's what that would mean, right?
Yeah.
But content, you're supposed to be content but never complacent.
Yep.
I have a very hard time because I'm so focused on the not to be complacent part and always growing that I have a hard time being content, like happy and joyful where I'm at. And that's an issue and I'm still constantly working on that. So I want to be very, very open on peel back the filters of me. But that's the biggest thing of what my wife and I are working on right now is like really trying to be content, where we're currently at, but at the same time, continually growing and growth focused. So normal is brilliant. There we go. Now we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Normal is brilliant. Dr. Jeremy Fow, that's where I heard him say that first. He's a wonderful chiropractor in Plymouth, Minnesota. And normal is brilliant just made so much sense to me the first time I ever heard it because God designed our bodies incredibly simple. Now, I'm going to use an analogy here, but I don't know much about cars. I know which ones go fast and look pretty. And then, sometimes like when you see a big truck, you're like, man, I bet that can pull a lot of things. So besides, am I right?
Yeah.
Cool. So besides that, if you take a battery out of a car, how useful is that vehicle?
It does not go.
Zero use.
Zero use.
Zero usefulness, right? So same thing with our body. Our brain is the battery for our entire body, right? It powers everything. Your heart, your immune system, your big toe, the hair on your big toe, everything. Your brain is controlling it, right? And so when you remove connection from said organs, muscles, cells, glands, tissues to brain, it's zero function, right? And so if we have your heart, I'm going to take your heart right here in my palm. Are you ready for this?
I think so.
And we cut all the nerves going to the heart. What happens to that heart, your heart?
Nothing good.
Nothing good. Philip, what would you say?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is nothing at all going to happen inside this heart or with this heart anymore?
Because the battery connection has been severed.
Severed completely. 0% connection means 0% function, right? And then if there's full connection, that's 100% function.
That's right.
See, that's the original design. 100% function, 100% connection, right? And that means normal. Normal means wonderful health. And that's what I mean by normal is brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna stop there.
So like would you liken normalcy to intended design?
Inside the body?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Exactly. Precisely.
Sure. So
And function. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
but you would limit it to just talking about body?
Probably not, but right now, because I haven't thought more into other sectors, I'm gonna say yes.
Sure.
Yeah. Stop there.
Okay. Fair enough. Because, we go after the thing that can be applied, the simple boiled down statement for all aspects of life.
Yes.
I like normal is brilliant as long as it's prefaced with I don't know if I said that word right, prefaced, prefaced, whatever.
I say both.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with both.
Go
Yeah.
either way. Okay. Well, someone can comment and let me know which one's right. I'm sure someone will do that for us.
We probably heavily advise commenting to see
Yeah.
We
what
would love that.
We love engagement.
what is preferred.
Absolutely. I just thought, if it's prefaced or prefaced with the definition of like normal is intended design, or like 100% function, like you were saying, that it's 100% connection, 100% function. It's working fully as it was designed. And meant to work. Mm-hmm. Then I like normal is brilliant.
I think that topic's huge. It's bringing it back to how was it intended to work?
Yeah.
And bringing back, specifically in healthcare, right? Philip and I, we kind of have settled in that basket, educating on the simplicity of what is going on with their body, because something that was originally designed is supposed to work this way isn't working this way anymore. And with a chiropractic focus, we have a different example of as to why that might not be working as good as possible. So
then would you also say that nobody is normal then?
No. Right?
Why?
Or
is there anybody functioning at 100%?
I think the goal is 100. I think unless someone has zero stress and their adaptability is perfect. But I think the goal is always, you know what? I said this. I've been testing this, telling a lot of new practice members this the past few months. This is going to sound interesting because this is an actual microphone to more people than just the person in front of me. Because, when I'm in the consultation room, it might just go to them. If they tell their family, okay, maybe.
Really putting it out here.
Excuse me. So you don't need chiropractic.
correct.
When you want your body to work better and function better, and then for sure maybe feel better down the road, but first and foremost, when you have a desire for your body to function and heal better, then chiropractic is needed. When you understand what it actually does and what chiropractic was originally designed for and after, then you want it. Then you would need it. Then that would be, whether you know it, the word is chiropractic or not, it would be needed.
And a lot of times, when I'm talking about what chiropractic really is, I'm asking people, like, what do you believe is the master control organ in the body? And generally people say it's the
brain.
Boom, for sure. And now,
Glad I got that right.
correct.
Most say heart.
You
Most
nailed one.
say heart.
Correct.
I'd say
A lot.
well, actually, the teenagers usually say brain, and the parents are usually saying heart. Which is funny.
This is true.
But-
I have found the same. I've gotten a couple livers and a couple thyroids.
Ooh, I haven't
Yeah.
gotten thyroid. I've never had that one.
So
That was it was someone in the medicine field who was, it was stuck there. I don't know.
That'll
It's
happen.
not wrong. Thyroid's super important.
Super important.
Right.
what is the right answer?
Master control organ of the body is the brain.
Okay.
And
Grey's Anatomy states that too. Not
Correct.
the TV show, the
Yes.
textbook.
Yes.
I'm sure the TV show.
Wait, there's a
did
text,
too.
there's a textbook.
There's a textbook.
Grey's Anatomy.
It's like the go-to for almost all things medical,
Correct.
anatomical, maybe
Yeah.
physiological too. I don't know.
Probably.
In the body.
In a way.
Sure.
But that is why the show Grey's Anatomy is called Grey's Anatomy, is because of the textbook.
It's not because of the lady. Gray is her last. I don't know.
Is that the way it is?
Taylor, is it that way? Her name's Gray, right? Last name's Gray.
No way. Her last name's Anatomy.
That was funny.
was
And
a
that's
good
why
joke.
you're here, bro. This is why you're...
Cracking jokes.
Anyway, like, your brain is the master control organ, but it's way up here. It's way up here. My little pinky is here. How does my brain and pinky connect to each other?
How do they talk?
How do they talk?
Dr. Phillip,
And then
how
you
do
would
they
say
talk?
Dude, why are you quizzing me on the podcast?
He's like, give me
I don't
easier
know.
ones,
I
like the
think-
cut
is
stuff.
it the nervous system?
it is the nervous system. Correct.
How did you know?
Exactly.
I don't know.
And there's a lot of function going on here: cells, tendons, ligaments, muscles, blood, all of that stuff. But if you cut that nervous system from exactly what you were saying earlier with the brain and the heart, if you sever that connection, there is no function, right? So then I go in. Have you bled before? Have you ever been cut before? You ever broken
Yeah,
a bone?
For sure.
Is
Both.
it both? Is that bone still broken, or are you still bleeding?
Negative on both aspects?
Correct. Now, why is that the case? Why aren't you still bleeding?
I'm going to go with because I think my body healed it. Want to know something cool? I didn't even have to think about it.
That's right. And that's when we're trying to logically and just like very deductively get to the point where your body was meant to heal itself in all scenarios. So when we talk about normal is brilliant and what 100% is, to me that means it's a body that heals. It is not a body without problems.
Correct.
because stress is inevitable, and that's why we have a podcast, is because we're about revealing tactics to meet life's demands, right? Chiropractic is my and your, to an extent, our answer to helping your body cope with stress because it is inevitable. But we are out to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to help your body heal itself the way it's supposed to. And there's evidence that your body is not healing itself when symptoms are present and they are prolonged. Because if your big toe hurts for a little while and then it goes away, great. Your body healed it. Like it did it on its own. It moved itself out of that stressed position. But when you can't do that on your own and things progress and become chronic and repeat itself over and over and over again, that is in my opinion, the perfect time to go see a chiropractor. Because our job is to reduce stress on the nervous system, to reconnect brain and body, and jumpstart the healing ability. Do you like all that?
I agree. I tell practice members, patients, family members, whatever you want, whatever they're called to you, that all the time, that when you have the same pain or issue in the same location, feeling the same way for a long time, that is called chronic. That means something is stuck. And adaptability is the whole reason of what we do, to help your body meet life's demands.
Right.
It's literally increasing your adaptability. Mm-hmm. And so if you have a body that has a high adaptability level and can bounce back from a lot of L's, pretty sure Big Sean has a song about that for sure. For sure. So, it absolutely does. Don't go listen. It's got a good tune.
Good tune. We're into good tunes here.
So,
Good beats. Not the lyrics have to be.
We like
no,
the beats.
we won't.
I don't know about Big Sean. I've never.
Big Sean. I haven't dug in too much into Big
He's been putting
Sean.
on some muscle. He's not this little guy anymore.
No.
Saw an
He got
Instagram
big.
post.
It's good. He's looking out for his health.
He actually is. He said he's trying to tap into his full potential.
Wow.
He's doing it in ways that I would also advise to do so a little differently.
Sure.
But anyway, normal is brilliant.
Yeah. Not like we're lecturing you. I hope you don't feel like you've been lectured.
No, I'm just taking it all in. I like
sure.
it.
Yeah. That's the root. I mean, because you can live for how many days without food?
A few.
A few. You can live for how many days without water?
Wait, I think that one was a few.
What? Sure.
Let's say
Yeah,
a
you
couple
can live-
few.
A couple
You can
few
live
without
weeks
food.
without
weeks
food
without food.
if you have to.
3 days.
Why would you want to though? I mean,
That's true.
yeah. Anyways, water.
If you're stranded on a-
they give it the rule of threes, like 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 3 hours in harsh environment without shelter, and 3 minutes without air.
What's next?
For you.
So
How long without nerve impulses?
0.0 seconds.
Let's keep it at a 3. 003.
0.003. That's probably true.
I
You
like
probably
the 3.
it takes that long for the last nerve impulse to.
I feel like
flow
most
through the
things,
body.
if they have 3, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Because your nervous system, like your brain, is transmitting actual commands and impulses through the nervous system at 200 miles per hour. So it can get to your little toe, which is not that far away, really fast.
I did not know that. The speed.
For sure.
I knew the little toe thing.
It's probably in Grey's Anatomy.
The book, not the show.
Oh, I was going to say, darn woman.
Funny.
That makes me think of like a high-speed internet connection. Our body's just one big network, huh?
Sure
It
is.
Hardwired, too. It's not
Yeah.
wireless.
Ooh, even better.
Yeah.
Less to go wrong.
Right on.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
Mhm.
As a,
to me or to the table?
Just to the
Oh, okay.
to the two doctors here, as a uneducated in the things of chiropractic, other than what you've told me, doctor. How do you increase? Was it the adaptability? Is that the word is that like the hot
Yes.
word, adaptability? How do you
Yes.
bring that up if that's like the key is getting your body to be adaptable to stress?
Yeah. And so I should, to answer that question, I'm also going to clarify one thing, because here we are defining the need for chiropractic,
Yeah.
but that if there's anybody from a different profession, that does not mean that we don't need nurses, doctors, physical therapists, occupational therapists, all those things.
There's a time and a place for everything.
There's a time and a place for everything. We might even go ahead and say, even to the point of surgery and medicine, even though chiropractors traditionally are against such things.
For sure. People think all the time, because I don't take medicine, and by medicine I mean well anything, even over the counter stuff. Like I don't do medicine, and people think because of that I hate it and there's not a time and a place for it. That's not true.
Same for
If
me.
you get in a very, very brutal car accident, I might call you dumb if you show up at my office.
Yeah.
I have not much to help you besides a prayer and then a car to get you to where you need to go to maybe set some bones, suture some wounds. And then I can help with the healing process, but
Correct. Yes.
I'm not going to suture you up.
So that being said, I mean, there is always going to be a need for, and I call them the Magnificent Seven. Okay. There's always going to be a need for food, good food, because your body is like, that is what else powers your body. Like that's what remakes your body is what I would say. Every 127 days, your red blood cells, you don't have any of the same. They've all died, replicated, and moved on, right? But you're making new cells with what you feed yourself, right? So that's why it's important to feed yourself quality stuff, organic.
There's a chiropractor, past chiropractor and philosopher, Reginald Gold, that talked a lot about the ham sandwich you ate yesterday is now your eyeball today.
That's right.
So, I mean, there is very much truth in the replication of cells. And, if you're sick, let's say the cell is 66% health, do you want that cell to keep replicating itself? Or would you rather that cell, like, die and be reproduced with a healthier cell? Adaptability falls into, like, that category of increasing that. But keep going.
For sure. Right. Absolutely. So in any given moment, there will always be a need. And okay, now when I say organic, I don't necessarily mean organic spinach. I just mean things that are naturally made. And
Organic matter.
correct, organic matter versus inorganic matter. Like an Oreo and Mountain Dew is inorganic and has no place in your body, and I will stick with that statement till the ends of the earth. I went on a rant on an Oreo. Maybe you heard it in a previous podcast.
I heard that one.
A couple. There's every now and
said
again.
Any rational human being won't believe that.
Did I say that?
You did. I mean, that was fair. That's right. If you're
Yeah.
thinking rationally, logically,
Right.
you can 100% deduce every time that an Oreo isn't food.
Where,
It
where
is
do we
not.
grow the Oreos
Exactly.
Exactly.
For sure.
Scientists
or raise the
labs.
Oreos?
In inorganic matter like that is a toxin to your body, and it has to be processed because it is not meant to be there. So when we talk about organic things, just naturally grown, naturally occurring things, that's what you need to fuel yourself with because you are organic and not an inorganic piece of material. You okay with that?
Yeah, I had a question, but I think I answered it in my own head.
Oh, nice. You
Yeah.
should just put it out in the words
So
there.
the question I was going to say, I heard someone define toxin as anything your body doesn't already make or use for fuel. Something like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, say it again. What is a toxin?
Something your body doesn't make or something your body cannot use as fuel.
Foreign objects.
So someone
Yeah.
did tell me, diabetic, type 1? Yeah, type 1, low blood sugar, right? And they're like, no, like I like if all I can get my hands on is a Mountain Dew or an Oreo, like I need to do that. So my blood sugar, I was like, this is true, but what if you got your hands on like some like mango? What about strawberries and stuff like that? Well, that's too much work. It's like, oh, that's fine. I'm just suggestions.
Yeah. The principle remains. Okay, so back to the original question, which is how do you increase your adaptability? Is at any given moment your body needs natural organic material to replicate itself with. At any given moment your body will need proper movement, Like we can go into this too. I've done talks over time talking about why movement is good. And movement and exercise in general literally activates a gene. So a gene is like a recipe, and a recipe codes for something. Like a pumpkin pie recipe codes for a pumpkin pie. And if you mess with those ingredients, your result gets altered, right? So a gene in your body is like a recipe. It codes for a protein or an action that will be done by a certain protein, okay? So exercise activates a gene called the FOXO2 gene, which creates apoptosis in your body, where this gene sends out a protein that...
Isaac's like, those are cool words.
Those are cool words. Okay. Apoptosis.
Yep.
Apoptosis means schedule cell death because your cells do not last your entire lifetime. They die and they replicate and then they move on. Okay. So you have a gene that is activated by exercise that creates a protein that hunts down cells that are unhealthy and ready to die, and it kills them for you. Exercise does that. So you're literally killing off dead and dying cells for yourself so they don't replicate and create more dead and dying cells, and therefore all that's left is healthy cells to regenerate and become you. Movement. There was always a time for good movement. There was always a time for good organic matter to enter your body. There was always a time for water. There was always a time for good digestion, right? There's always a time for good sleep. There's always a time for nervous system connection and blood flow and lymph flow. There's always a time for positive thoughts and not negativity and depression and stress, right? And so those think, move, eat, drink, poop, sleep, talk. If you ever heard me talk, you've heard me say those 7 things. There's always a time for that, and you have to make sure those things are working in your favor constantly, and that is how you create this adaptable body, a body that can handle stress.
So it's doing those 7 things the right way.
Those are, I believe, the fundamentals. That's the beginning.
I think a really cool aspect of like cell regeneration is how I originally said, like if you have a cell that's 66% health that dies, what needs to happen for that cell to be healthier when it replenishes again? Because if the main system, the central control system, right, isn't operating differently, isn't fixed, isn't beefed up, isn't whatever you want to call it, the cell regeneration is just going to be 66 again. So what would you say, Phil, on how a healthier cell is actually reproduced, not the same sick cell? Because apoptosis, right, when it kills a cell, naturally, the same health of cell is going to come right back. So how do we get that cell healthier?
I mean,
that wasn't a trick question. That was
wasn't
actually,
a quick.
that was
actual,
not a trick question.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like
sure.
Because it revolves around like chiropractic for sure.
Yeah.
That answer.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's the adaptability portion. That's the regeneration of a healthier, more optimal functioning body. So.
I mean, at that point, I think I'm looking for the thing that's creating the dysfunction. I'm looking for the specific thing that's creating dysfunction, whether it's toxicity or whether it's you're not getting any nerve flow to that area, or whether it's A, B, or C.
Something's holding back the healing process.
Correct. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for that thing.
The stuck pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And all patterns, but the brain and the spinal cord, the nervous system, central nervous system, is what processes all stress in the human body. So physical stress, falling down the stairs, shooting too much trap at clays and dusting them all.
And then breathing that dust.
Yeah, for sure. Then that's the chemical toxin. But physical, chemical, and emotional toxins, right? Chemical being the foods we eat, the pollution in the air, the dust from the clay pigeons, the medicine, you name it. Emotional stress, finances, deadlines, finances, a lot of that stuff, right? Or growing up your whole life having someone call you, fat or 4 eyes or you name it, some bad thing. Your nervous system has to process all that stress, and if it doesn't fully heal from it, it is now a stuck pattern inside your nerve system. And a lot of people go, okay, cool, but I don't really get it. They move on in their thoughts. But like, think about PTSD. Someone can come back from a war and something can trigger them years later. They could be quote unquote fine or quote unquote look healthy, right, at the surface, on the exterior, but then hear something, be a certain event, a trigger, and then they might lose it, right? Someone's like, whoa, like, where did that come from? That was a trapped pattern inside their nervous system that was just expressed because something just triggered it. So a cool part about chiropractic too, and the focus that chiropractic has on neurology, is that it rewires all those stuck and trapped neurological patterns. It rewires them. Like, there's neural pathways because of habits that we do throughout our entire life, right? Like, if we have a hill and there's a decline on the hill, at the bottom of the hill there's water, and this hill is sand, and we dig with a shovel like a trench into the sand and we pour water at the top, where does the water go? Into the trench down at the bottom of the hill, right? And let's say that that's like a PTSD trigger or something, you name it, some pain, you name it, a symptom, an issue, not optimal function, or a body not working in harmony or coordination with the cells around it. Chiropractic fills in that sand, that new one, and creates the healthy pattern, the better way for that message to get from A to B.
Because we're the ones who try to focus on the nervous system and its status versus, I mean, there's no other.
It's a hard statement, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean,
There are very few other things that exist that focus on nervous system health. You can make a strong case that meditating and breathing are things that.
and it connects with with the parasympathetic nervous system, balance of the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system is everything in your body. Well, sorry, it's the nervous system that controls everything in your body that is autonomous. Breathing, digestion.
Because you're
now
not
you're
thinking.
going to be thinking about breathing though, so I just tricked you there. And blinking. Now you got to think about blinking too.
But it's like your liver's working and you're not thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's even if you do think about it, you can't make it work any different.
Yeah, probably not.
But it's working because that's your autonomic nervous system controlled by your brain controlling that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why your nervous system is just a key integral part to make sure it's functioning well.
And a lot more stress, whether that's physical, chemical, or emotional stress, hardwires your body for more stress. That's what I mean by the stuck neural patterns. And so it hardwires you for the fight or flight response. And then that biochemically alters everything in your entire body. So what other questions do we have? This is fun. I like these podcasts.
It was fun. And do you have a follow-up thought?
Are we done?
There's a lot of big words there.
There's a lot of big words.
Apoptosis. And then what was that other one you just said? It was like at the end, the neuro thing that does all the automated stuff.
Autonomic nervous system.
Autonomic.
ANS. I use abbreviations a lot.
Autonomic. Okay.
ANS, CNS, all the NSs.
A lot of NSs.
You got a question?
Well, I think Ken and I are both passionate about redefining the parameters of chiropractic because it has been kind of skewed in the past. As traditionally it's known as we are bone doctors. We do back pain and that's it, which is
Hey, maybe neck pain.
right. Back pain and maybe neck pain, and there's those people that come into me and that's how they see me or you, I'm sure, or I know a lot of our classmates, but then when we start talking about how your body is healing and how it's functioning, it seems like when someone gets it and then the blinders go off and their eyes get big and it's like, whoa.
It's a light bulb aha moment.
For sure.
And it's awesome. Those I can easily say are one of my favorite things about what we do.
Yeah.
When people can see the world through a different lens.
Yeah.
Sounds like something else too.
Which, again, that's right. Zoe. Not to beat this with a dead horse here, but it's like I've had people who come in and they say, one of the most amazing ones to me was when someone said, I feel like my appetite has changed. Like I have a lot less cravings now. Could getting adjusted have done that? And it's like, yeah, for sure. Someone else came in and it's like, I came into you for my back pain, but now it's like my digestion and my gut has been way more regular recently. Was there a connection? And it's like, yes. How? Well, it's because we're working on the nervous system and we're establishing connection and now things are functioning.
I think it's safe to say almost 100% of people I have helped, chiropractically speaking, have said something like that. So I came in with back pain. I came in with this. I came in with, you have some people, they're like, I'm coming in for anger. Someone said they were more happy when they got adjusted. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. But then they said, but now my breathing's better. Now I don't have my ulcers or heartburn. Now I don't have asthma. Now I don't have allergies, all this. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
The body's operating more normal.
Yeah. And that's what we're doing right here is just redefining chiropractic the way that it originally was defined. And it's been skewed over time and we're trying to bring it back. Mm-hmm. Do you have a little known health tip that you do for yourself or your family that most people don't know about besides getting adjusted?
That most people don't know about?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I'm going to say no.
Sure.
But this is important because I feel like back to the practice members when they come in, like some people are just so gung-ho and they take so much action so quick, but sometimes they fall off because it's just too much. So like they'll start getting adjusted and then they'll be like, oh, this is awesome. I want to get adjusted. I wanna go to the gym. I want to do yoga. I want to do meditation. I want to run 1,800 miles or whatever it might be. And I say, no, let's take this easy here. But if they want more results, more life change, more positive life change outside of the adjustment, the first thing I tell people to do, and I think you said something on one of your previous podcasts, it was about like a 10-day detox.
Yeah.
So I tell people for 10 days, or I've even said a week, just the next 7 days, just to next time I might see you, or in a week from today when I see you again, I want you to, the water. I know you've most likely talked about water, but I tell people, drink a little more than half your body weight in ounces of water every single day for the next 7 days and report back to me on how you feel. And not just how you feel, but the changes that you have experienced.
Sure. Just by drinking
There
water.
There is zero possibility that you can come back to me in that 7 days and say you didn't notice great change, that your mood, that you were happier, that you weren't as tired, that you weren't sluggish, that the brain fog is gone. That was also in the gut,
Right on.
the detox. But all this stuff, you can move better. All of this, like I think I read on one of those. What are those books called that are usually by the bathrooms? It's like 1,001 useless facts or something like that. And I read in one of them that your brain is 80% water. I don't know if that's true, but for the sake of what I'm talking about, I'm going to go with it's true right now. That could be dangerous doing stuff like that.
That's where we need a fact check.
Fact check.
What is the brain? What's the consistency of the brain? Taylor, can you?
In terms of water.
Right.
But anyway, so if
Fat
let's
and water,
say
we know
that's
that.
true, and now we know from previous conversations, your brain controls every function in your entire body and how it then adapts to life stressors. Wouldn't you want to make sure that thing is plump full of water? I would,
Yeah,
maybe.
for sure.
But yeah, so I wouldn't. I mean, people know water is important. It's just, again, it all comes back down to action. Is someone going to actually drink the water? You know, Bill, is he going to do his stretches? Or Bob, back pain Bob.
No particular Bills or Bobs
Yeah.
are in thought right now.
That's accurate. That is true.
We
But-
know some Bills and Bobs, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be my
Bob.
answer, though.
So
73?
pretty close to
73% water.
pretty close to 80.
Cool. I'm going to remember that. Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So drink water.
Drink
people.
water.
Drink water.
Water. That's good. I really like that.
Something I took away from what you said, like with your tip, whether it's little known or not, is like just do something that is healthier than what you're doing today.
Goodness,
Make
yes.
make one, even if it's just one, make a habit change for a week and see how it helps.
Yes. On a previous podcast, you guys talked about show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future. I think that might have stemmed from the show me your habits, I'll show you your future. Because the people you're around will then generate what habits you are or aren't doing.
Sure.
Right. And so when it comes to habits, it's the small things that add up. Right. It's the aggressive patience doing those things. Like, let's say someone's is super simple, losing weight. Okay, I won't say super simple because for them it might be really hard. It might be really hard mentally to lose weight. I'm not saying that, so don't email me.
You're
anything
understood.
Needed. Okay. So that could be as like, hey, on my sandwich that I eat every day, I'm not gonna put as much condiments on there, and I'm not gonna use the elevator anymore. It's just those simple things that make the biggest difference. Continually done. That actually reminds me of a good book that helped me change a lot, and that's The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good book. Super simple, and it makes sense. All in the title was the entire book. All the things you do compound upon each other, good and negative, because it's what creates the habits. So that's what's important.
Is that the answer to the a book that was most influential or a favorite book of yours?
So most influential, that's not even debatable. Again, whether people like it or not, it's the Bible.
Bible.
By far. Even when I remember first starting to really dive in what I would now call study the Bible in early chiropractic school, and would have people say, how do you, the stuff you say is there's a lot of wisdom in it. Where are you learning that at such a young age? You look 14. I'm like, thank you. I'm like 16. I'm just kidding. It's a lot older than that. But just being able to say the Bible threw them for a loop every single time.
Sure.
Which is, people, I don't know, it's a stigma. But Other than that, yeah, the book question. Compound effect just made so much sense and really helped me look into then my daily life and all the habits, like a self-assessment, like what are the results I'm getting right now, and do I like them or not? And the ones that I said, no, I don't like these results that I'm producing right now, I went back to like, what are my behaviors with the results, right? A coaching group for chiropractic and business that I was in talked about the belief triangle all the time. They said your thoughts and values create your behaviors then produce your results, and your results prove your values and thoughts about something. So
we've talked about that quite a bit, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
We're relationship between belief and action and results. Yeah.
Correct.
It reminds me of what you said earlier on about who I am versus who I'm supposed to be, and how I think, looking at that triangle of what I believe, what I think say do, what I see, it all rotates around.
It's powerful. Self-assessments are the most powerful thing you can do. Like if you're wanting to change something.
Right on. Now, and it's a triangle because it's not linear.
Correct.
With a feedback loop. It's a triangle, but it is a loop, right?
It's interconnected.
Sure.
And you can go the reverse way about it. I'm sure you can.
In a way, is it a double-sided arrow? Like,
you know what? I haven't thought about that.
Maybe the assessment is backwards? Like I'm looking at the results, considering my thought actions.
Yeah. It's
what is my belief?
Exactly. Like all comes back down to, because there's always that question: are you going to believe something to be true and get your mindset right, or are you going to do something about it? I've talked with people both sides of the camp, and I've been on both sides of the camp many times, but it's a both and, not an not which or however that saying goes. But
yeah,
both are important.
Yeah.
You said something. You said you have to see when you went from junior varsity to varsity. That actually really clicked with me.
Did it?
Because you were saying like I wasn't successful in varsity because I still saw myself as that junior varsity player. So until I could even see myself succeeding and doing well at that next level, like because you thought a certain way, your results couldn't go a certain way, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And until like the behaviors around how you started to think. And that brings us back to the faith thing and assurance, the assurance part. Like you keep doing the stuff, I can compete with these guys, the more confidence you're going to build.
Yeah.
Right. I was talking with someone about hearing from the Holy Spirit and listening to the Holy Spirit and walking and obeying. And when you feel the nudge to pray for someone or fill in the blank, and you do it, that will reward you with more assurance. You know what I'm saying? But if you kept ignoring it, being like, well, now I just don't know if that was, God talking to me or what I was supposed to do, then it did kind of miss the boat. You missed the boat. I said boat, really Minnesota-like right
you
there.
did.
I meant to say boat.
It's okay.
Boat.
You're from Minnesota.
How do you say it?
Boat. Say bag.
Mm-mm.
Fair enough.
Bag.
You did it.
About pillow.
Yeah, we're not
going to play that game.
Our friend from
South
Dakota can't say that word, but that's okay. We love him dearly.
He knows who he is.
He knows who he is.
If he doesn't, his name is...
Zay.
It's Zay. It's Isaiah. We'll get him here.
All right.
My brother was in where was that? Not North Carolina. Somewhere over New Jersey. And see the N, same word. And he asked for a bag, but he was probably saying big. And the girl who was like 17 was like looking at him and not moving. And he goes, "Can I please have a bag for my clothes?" And she was not understanding. And like he was getting so frustrated. Like, "Excuse me. Like, you're looking at me. I know you can hear me. We've been talking. Can I have a bag for me?" And like, and then his buddy comes and goes, "Sorry, ma'am, he needs a bag." And then she gives it to him, and he goes, "Really? You did it? That was the 2 and 2 didn't connect there that much." Okay, whatever. But I was laughing really hard when he told me that. Because I was like, "Well, what'd you say?" And he was like, "I asked for a bag." And I was like, "Well, yeah, it sounded bad, so made sense."
So funny. There's some North Dakota things like that too, is there not? For the whole Wangler clan is
Sure.
sure.
Yeah.
You betcha.
You want some of that?
I do want some
a
of
little
that.
North
Yeah.
Dakota love?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, for neat.
Oh, for neat.
I don't even know what that means.
Did
for
Seth Lunenberg
neat.
ever say stuff like that?
Say it again.
Seth Lunenberg? Did he? I've heard him say some things from Minot, North Dakota.
That's where he's from.
Seth?
Yeah.
I think so. Looney? Looney, is that
Looney?
where you're from?
My roommate was from there, and he would throw down those O's a little bit. Chase was from
Chase.
there. Yeah. But what? I don't even know what that means.
It's just like, oh, that's neat. Oh, for neat.
Okay.
You know, like,
Okay.
hey, look at what I got in my bag today. Oh, for neat.
That's a wild one. Yeah.
Oh,
That would
no.
throw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, my wife's been watching the Great British Baking Show.
Oh, my wife too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Getting into it.
I get into it.
Oh, well, I said she was getting into it.
Do you get into it?
I've watched it while it's been on.
Sure. Well, they have some sayings like that too, where you pick these things up, and Bridget's she's funny when she says them. It cracks me up.
All right, sorry.
Cracks me up.
Great.
We were talking about books, and
Books.
The Bible was influential. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy was influential. I've read that. I've talked about that book with several people too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Simeon Lang was one of them. He recommended that book. I read it from him, and it was good. What about movies? An influential or favorite movie?
Influential.
Yeah, or just favorite, just things that you enjoy.
I think I'm a classic guy in this realm here. The American Sniper,
Yeah,
13 Hours. What's that? The Bangladesh War.
Benghazi.
Benghazi.
Yeah,
And,
I got you.
Act of Valor, Lone Survivor. Like, I love all those movies. And those can, like, move me to tears. Like, it's the stuff like the Hallmark movies my wife loves, and then that I watch with her. They just, they don't move me. They don't move. They're pretty predictable. I don't think I've ever cried watching one. But yeah, man, even though, it's Lone Survivor, people start dying off, you get choked up.
Yeah, that's what moves you. What
But
about?
influential, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't, I love movies. I love watching them. To me, it's been fun because it's a story. I don't know if any have been like influential though, but I love them. Super excited to see what movie we watch later on.
I'm very excited about that as well. We're gonna find one. Have you?
Scour the interweb.
Yeah. Did you pick a favorite movie yet?
Man, I don't think I'm ever. It changes.
You don't want to go there.
I mean, I'm kind of like you. I mean, probably wouldn't have named those same ones.
Sure.
I did really like American Sniper though.
Mm-hmm.
But those like war movies for me, it's ones like where there's a group and it's like the element of brotherhood. I think is what moves me more than anything else.
Yeah,
You've mentioned Saving Private Ryan a couple of times.
that was today too.
I know. Well, yeah, because of the way someone was blasting the target. You weren't there for that. Yeah, because it was you that was shooting the gun. After you did like the one hand thing, you were just like pop, pop.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah,
reminded
yeah,
me of that
yeah.
last scene where Tom Hanks blows up the tank in Saving Private
Looks at
Ryan.
his
He
gun.
was like, oh,
Whoa,
wow.
that was a good bullet.
Yeah.
There.
So
Even though it was the Air Force coming in and saving the day.
right,
Yeah.
It
He was
just
a little discombobulated, if that's a word.
a lot of it.
He had some blood loss at that point.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Some things were at dis-ease in his body.
Nice.
The harmonious action. was
Dude, you
not
just
occurring.
looked like so proud of me.
Yeah. Because we didn't even talk about that today. But you said dis-ease.
Sick.
Yeah. That's the whole principle. Isaac,
Learns quick.
he gets it.
Gets it.
For sure. And that's the way it always is. There's disease and there's ease and there's the gray area of dis-ease, which is the middle ground from one to the next. And you can't get to one without going through the middle. And it's when you're in that dis-ease process, you have time to get back to ease. And that's when chiropractic and all the other modalities are really good for you. And you got to move. And you just nailed it. Health is my hot button. No, this is not a surprise. Okay, so when you whom health is not your hot button, when you just throw down on a principle like that, oh man, yeah, proud of you.
Thank you.
He's like, next.
So
Good
funny.
Anyway.
Goodness
So funny.
gracious.
Next, okay, yeah, movies. I've got movies on the wall. I love Captain America. I love The Count of Monte Cristo. I think everyone should watch that one.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Count of Monte Cristo. Oh
But-
man, yeah,
The other poster with the Mission Impossible movies, I haven't
Yeah.
seen those last two.
for sure.
I feel like a little more want towards those than that. But,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Count of Monte Cristo is probably a little deeper, a little
It is
more
deep.
involved.
it is It's not necessarily a feel-good film. It's not a big box office hit. It's one of those timepieces that means something. You laughing at me?
No, like The Notebook.
No? Oh.
No,
yeah, that was
that's
a big box office hit. Yeah, that's like one of the greatest chick flicks of all,
For
romantic movies
Yeah.
of all time, which, I don't know.
Is it, Taylor? Is The Notebook one of the greatest? No. she
Taylor says
no.
Hard no.
Lindsay's normally running the podcast, but Taylor,
My fiance.
Isaac's fiance,
I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
marry
Taylor.
her.
is here doing us well here. It's good.
What about
Man.
Lord of the Rings? That's the other movie poster in here for those on the camera.
Right.
What do you think about those? Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Like them?
Yeah, they're pretty good. Actually, want to know something pretty? Yeah, I'm peeling back the filters
Yeah.
again. I've watched many horror movies, and I think
War or horror?
horror, HORROR.
There's that Minnesota twang again. I don't know what you call it.
Oops. But
Don't you know?
But the what was I saying?
Oh, shoot.
Horror.
Oh yeah, but Golem Schmeagol,
Yeah.
Smeagol, whatever his name is,
Yep.
Schmeagol. He that guy creeped me out for years. Like, I think because of all the horror movies I watched, my mind was already twisted with like dark and stuff like that, meaning like scared of the dark.
Yeah.
Then you added that Smeagol character in there. Dude, he was the one lurking in all the shadows. None of
Yep,
this like
true.
Halloween, Freddy versus none of that stuff. It was Schmeagol.
Wow.
little
He's the one that
creepy
got
cat.
to you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
My dad still makes fun of me for it. That's all right. I don't think he listens to podcasts, so that's fine.
I used to be really scared of the Grinch, to be honest with you. Like Jim
Grinch
Carrey's.
is that?
Jim Carrey's The
Oh, the
Grinch.
Christmas Grinch.
Yeah, the Christmas Grinch. Yeah.
I went
Like
right away to not that.
Oh,
What did you go to? Can we talk about it?
What's the horror movie with the ring? The Ring. I went to the gal with the hair in front of her face. Why don't we
Oh.
shouldn't talk about this?
I would hate that.
There's no need to talk about horror movies.
Not a horror movie.
Next.
Next.
Is there more deep questions over there?
Are you ready for another deep question?
Yeah, let's get into something. Let's do that.
Go
We're
there.
at, I think we're at an hour and 17 minutes.
Oh wow, we're already over an hour. Dang.
Amazing, right?
Goes quick.
Fast. It goes quick. My next question for you. Do you have any hot questions right now? You ready
Yeah.
for one? Top 1 or 2 lessons learned from your experience. I have written as a doctor of chiropractic, but I'm just going to say as an adult working in your career or your field of calling. Top 1 or 2 lessons learned from your experience over the last 4 years, because our commencement ceremony was 4 years ago in December.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So
It's crazy to think.
Yep,
Time goes quick.
it does.
I think this could be an entire bonus episode.
Yeah.
This question.
Sure.
I really do. I think the principles in it, in business, in faith, in family, because I've learned so much in all 3 of those, big time. For this question, but the influence. Can you repeat the question one more time?
Top 1 or 2 lessons learned from your experience as an adult or a doctor of chiropractic over the last 4 years, and we've hit
Okay.
health well.
Sure.
We haven't really hit relationships yet, but you're 27 years old. You've been married for several years
5 years
with 3 kids,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
We've gone quick.
Yeah.
We've gone quick.
Let me preface this real quick. Is your passion more family focused, or is your passion health and chiropractic and helping people change their life positively through health and knowledge?
Oh man, I mean, I think they're so intertwined. I really think they're so
Like
combined.
family and your career?
Yeah, cause man, if there's something that gets me up, it's working hard for the mission and the vision that I believe I'm on. That was also given to me. Like I believe, for lack of better terms, it chose me.
Sure.
I'm doing that, 1, because I feel called to. I feel like that's my calling. But 2, what gets me up is knowing that I have the 3 kids. I have Brantley, Bryson, and Lexi, and a beautiful wife to provide for, to care for, to disciple, to go through life together. So that's definitely the motivating factor. Like I know a lot of people, like what could work me up is like, I'm not an anxious guy. But if I sat and thought about like just provision solely for like the kids, that's like the only thing that could like work me up if I was in like a season of, lack. So where was I going with that? So I think they're both very intertwined. Like for me, they're married for sure.
Like what you do for a career, you do for your family in a way. Like both, they are your co-passions.
I couldn't imagine doing it without them. Right. Like I could be a guy doing what I'm doing without a family and kids. Totally. That makes sense.
Sure.
But I can't imagine me doing that. If I didn't have them, if something tragic was to happen, ooh, that's a different way to put it. If so,
because you work with your wife.
She very hand in hand. Yeah.
Like even your job wise, she's involved with your job.
Mm-hmm, yeah. She's essentially like an office manager. She makes the entire practice run. I adjust and take care of people.
Right on.
She schedules. She does everything else besides take care of them.
Because she's worked in chiropractic offices even before knowing you. Is that true?
Correct. Yeah. Well, we knew each other when she got the job.
Okay.
At her first chiropractic
Right
office,
on.
but she's been in the profession longer than me.
Crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy to think.
Yeah.
So her and Dr. Tony Lothar definitely hold hands in like who got Ken into the profession first. Technically, it would be Cammie.
Crazy.
But well, yeah, it would be Cammie.
It's wild.
Final answer.
Final answer.
I don't think many couples can. Well, maybe there are some that your spouse, you give credit to your spouse for getting you in your career path.
Yeah,
That's wild.
That's wild. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever connected until right this moment. That is very wild.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Maybe she's had that connected, and that's why she's like so spizzed about it. But
just another deep layer to connect with your spouse on. I mean, another cord that ties you together. I mean, forever. How tighter that bond is going to be when you have that shared experience.
and working towards the same things with each other, having goals for each other. But a couple of the biggest lessons I've learned in like the career path as being a doctor of chiropractic, the biggest one I think is one of the biggest ones that I've noticed just through experiencing what I have so far and being able to change things through it is throwing to the side, completely kicking to the curb this idea of what the American doctor is. You will hear me say the crazy words as a doctor, this phrase, ready? I don't know. I will tell you that if I don't know it. And guess what? I don't know a lot. A lot, right? Like I'm really good at my one thing. And I can, well, luckily our one thing like controls an entire person. But besides that, completely abolishing this idea of the American doctor, that the ego with it, the pride. I have gone to adjusting shifts wearing stuff very similar to this. Without the tie, without the white coat, without the stethoscope around my neck. Being me. Using words like ear hole, like what we were talking about earlier. Not external auditory. I forgot it.
Not the textbook.
Hole.
The hole.
The hole.
The hole in the ear.
The ear. Side of the head.
The
So,
EAM. Yeah.
I think that's been the biggest one because people want hope. People don't want to just know the answers. People don't want a diagnosis. Well, no, fact check. A lot of people do. Oh, cool, I have a diagnosis, and then they do nothing with it most of the time anyway. But people want hope to know that they can have a life that they once had or never even have had yet. Like people are in so much need for that. And actually one of my friends or colleagues, created one of the hats, the hope dealers. So a lot of people in that group that I mentioned earlier, hope dealers. And I think that's very accurate in multiple facets of life.
So in a way, you're passionate about giving people that hope.
And providing it.
Sure.
Yeah, like the results behind it too.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
Creating
not
results.
just when that light bulb goes off about what can happen, but then when things happen too.
Sure.
It's amazing. People say miracles, right? Like, what's some miracles you've seen in your office? Like, have you seen anyone with cancer go away? Like, yeah. But also to the person who has that back pain that can't be with their wife or play with their kids, that back pain going away is a miracle too. to the person who doesn't even realize it, but their blood pressure normalized, they don't have allergies anymore, they're not using an inhaler anymore, like that's a miracle too. Like everything that revolves around the human body going back to its original design is a miracle. It's everything's a miracle. Normal's brilliant.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. Man, I think we could go full hour on that question.
Yeah.
But off the top of my head, that's what came out of my mouth
For sure. That's good. That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I really like that last bit, and that's something, in kind of a different vein of living and spiritual areas of life. I've thought about that with miracles too, about like, I almost want to use the term the underrated miracle. How there are things that happen in natural life, things that happen in your office, but then also spiritual things that happen with people that they maybe take for granted because they're comparing with what some other miracle for someone might have been, like
that's it. Absolutely.
My little back pain getting healed isn't a big deal because someone else got healed of cancer. So this is nothing. No, like that's a life change.
Really contrast, perspective.
Life change. Yeah. And it's the comparison of, me versus some other person with some other set of issues and environments and history versus me compared to normal.
Yeah. That's right.
The comparison thing is it's a brutal machine to get into.
Huge.
If I can throw one out, we were talking earlier before the podcast, you and I, while they were getting set up, we're talking about when people come in and like the time of a visit and some of that sort of stuff. And we were talking about like relationship building and creating rapport in a short amount of time, making someone, within a 15-minute or less, maybe even span of interaction with you, feeling valued and heard and loved, and then, worked on. How or what tactics would you have to offer to someone in building intimacy in a quick way with somebody? Building that rapport, because that's what I would call that rapport, is an intimacy, and someone, I just think about, for me, one of the most physically vulnerable times anybody ever gets me is when I lay down face down on his table and like let him come over and do whatever he's doing on my neck. I'm like, I've said it before. I'm like, dude, do you ever just feel like Ethan Hunt when you come over here about to like do a neck adjustment? Like
movie reference, Shooter.
Mission Impossible.
Oh, Ethan, the ones we'll be watching. Gotcha.
Yeah. Shooter was Bob Lee Swagger.
That's right. How can I mess that? Anyway, so I feel like your question actually ties into another like lesson I've learned, and I don't remember who I was talking with about it, but we were talking about it earlier, and I think it's your heart posture, and we've heard in chiropractic specifically, when you're building a practice, there's obviously the focus on like in chiropractic you have a practice and you have a business. The practice is there to help people's bodies heal and function better. The business is there to fund your lifestyle, to fund your life, to pay your bills, right? And so we've all heard like once you actually have the heart posture of caring, some other stuff just takes care of itself. And I think when you actually care about that person coming into your office, that's when it will change. We will always know people in our profession, in other professions, that their heart's not there. Their heart's not there. Your mind can be somewhere else. That could be a heart reflection. But either way, like, if you don't have that gratitude that one, they're there, the thanksgiving that they're there, but also the complete understanding that you can help them, whether it's with exactly what they're wanting or not, you won't build that relationship and connection and intimacy with them. You won't. You all hear it, right? People know how much you care, don't know how much you know. How's it go?
I was just thinking about this.
So how does that go?
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah. And I think, personally, I believe that's going out the window more and more because people want to hear, oh, I can help you. Here's some really high medicalized terms like ear hole that's going to help you. So that'll give them the hope because they went over their head with medical terms and stuff like that. Again, abolishing the American doctor idea of it. But you have to actually care. You have to be there to serve and to receive. They go hand in hand. But if you aren't doing that, then you won't build that.
I'd say I am convinced that you are passionate about that doctor-patient relationship and coming alongside that person in order to just kind of guide them in the right direction, you know? So,
Goodness, yeah.
Yeah. I've learned a very similar lesson to that from graduation, and I probably wouldn't say that I'm passionate about that, but it's like a necessity. You have to form that relationship.
Yeah.
Versus I see you like you are flat out passionate about that relationship, and I just really respect that in you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
For what it's worth.
Worth a lot.
Yeah,
I receive that.
for sure. And not sitting here judging you guys, but I do feel like both of you as well, are passionate about that personal level relationship. That the people who come to your church is not just a butt in the seat and a number for you on your weekly attendance. It's a soul.
Yeah.
It's a heart who needs cared for, and you want them to know that you love them. But then even more than that, you want them to know that God loves them. And I am fully convinced that that is your chief operative every time you come into a pulpit on Sunday. And I'm fully convinced that
I
every
love
time.
that word. Pulpit. Nothing like it. Sorry. Continue.
Doesn't matter where you're from. You can't. That's just a good word.
That's a great word.
Yeah, I don't even know how you can twang that one. Pulpit or
Doesn't matter where you're from.
it's pulpit.
So
Yeah.
we will never have a podium in the church. It will always be a pulpit.
Structurally, it's probably a podium, isn't it? And the area is the pulpit.
Yeah.
You have a
What does
podium in the
pulpit
pulpit.
mean?
Mm, shoot. Oh wow, that was fun.
Keep going.
I
Sorry,
love
I'm looking at the
linguistics.
definition
Linguistics,
of
yeah.
pulpit.
Well,
Go for it. Well, I'm just admonishing you guys. It's just like I see your hearts, and I hope people appreciate the efforts you go to take care of your flocks. And I guess like I see you as more passionate than I am, you know, and it's good. It's just good. I just really respect both of you, and I'm gonna drop the pencil right there.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, you get to be here co-hosting. You guys get to have these conversations with a lot of people. That's something I definitely look forward to either being more a part of, whether it's continued this one, whether it's other ones, or whether it's my own someday. But I think this communication, like humans are built for a relationship. They're built for relationships. And so also, like, you know, what's going on in this world is decreasing that. And they're saying, no, like, you can have it electronically. No, you can't.
Not the same, is it?
It's not
the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
We'll just give a little life experience of that. You know, I was hunting last fall in some water, and I had my phone in my waders, and I walked out too far and flooded. And I had an insurance plan through one of the credit cards that I have, which is why I got the card, because they have phone insurance, and I break a phone a year. So I was like, that'll be great. And
you don't have a case. A case might help, but if you have the insurance, then it doesn't matter.
it doesn't. It doesn't help when you walk into a pond. So
Yeah, you're right.
You know
Case won't
that's
help. Unless
just
it's life proof.
yeah.
Plug.
Hey,
Life proof could get us cases. Just kidding.
life proof. If you want to sponsor us and send us some free gear, we could drop the name another time or two.
And actually use the gear.
I would use it.
I would use it.
Probably. Kind of like no case, that nice slender,
so
sleek.
sleek.
It's so
Does
nice.
feel good.
It just feels
Apple
better.
did an
really
amazing
good.
job.
Yeah.
What feels good isn't always good for you.
Oh,
True. Like Oreos.
knowledge bomb.
Like Oreo.
Thank you.
I said it. I'm real.
We're sticking by it.
Yeah. I make mistakes often. And Oreos are good.
They are good. All I was going to get to with the phone thing, I had to wait 3 weeks to get my insurance payout to go get another phone. And I was still connected because we have a phone at the office and I have a laptop. So, people could message me on Facebook and email and that kind of thing. But I tell you, those 3 weeks were so much just different, in a mental way. Taking the phone out and not even having it there to check
Yeah.
or to think, I wonder if I got a text, or I wonder if I have an email, or I think I heard it buzz, You know, like have you ever had that happen? Like the phantom
Absolutely.
buzzing. It's like, oh, I got a mess. Oh no, there's nothing there.
There is an entire Netflix documentary on. I think it's called Social Dilemma. I've
Yeah.
heard amazing things about it. I haven't watched it because
Yeah.
actually I'm scared to. Not gonna lie, because I know I'll be using that very differently.
Yeah.
So
Just
I know
tell
what
you
you're talking about.
that time like kind of opened my eyes, and I changed some things. Like I added the screen time so I can like
Ooh,
know
nice.
how much
Yep.
I'm actually spending, and like I deleted all the apps, like media apps, which I mean, I'm not saying everybody should do that, but it really, it's like a game changer for me. It's been a game changer on mental focus and clarity prolonged throughout the day. It's like so much easier to just stay on.
That brought something great to remembrance. The health habit that most people don't know about or just don't do. You want to really make some changes first, and this incorporates the belief triangle. This hits like 15 things we've talked about. Get off of news, get off of social media. Some people, yeah, they have a business that requires them to post and stuff. You can do that without consuming. You can get third-party apps to schedule posts, to create the post and not consume. You do that along with that water for 7 days. Ew. Woo.
There's your top 2 health
You're going to
tips.
change. Yeah, mental and physical.
Yeah. Little known health tips right there.
Ye-
Big effects.
I would do more than 7 days, but 7 days would be
Yeah.
extremely hard for people. So why not, if you're doing the water, just start with 7. Start somewhere.
Start somewhere.
The little habits build up.
I had
A
a-
compound. Book drop.
Feels so good. You want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a classmate in high school who every year would go on a 21-day media fast. And he talked about how good that was. It's because you reconnect with people again, because you don't have a screen. If you want to talk to somebody, you got to go to them. And then you're reconnecting with books, and which is just, a great source of knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah.
And you're not addicted to because it is
Scroll.
addictive. And the
Absolutely.
social dilemma talks about this, and I've studied a little bit of this as well. It's like those apps, Instagram, Facebook, I'll say them by name, absolutely. They are meant to, if you ever noticed, if you go to the video reel, how you can see the title of the next video while you're watching the one above.
Yep.
It's because it's meant to train you to keep looking and keep scrolling. So you just keep doing the thumb thing. And
Wow.
yeah,
Sneaky.
They're designed to keep you watching and designed to keep you addicted to it. And
Absolutely.
the social dilemma on Netflix. Yeah. Very, very good watch, I would say. The other thing is supermarkets are designed to make you buy things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I worked at a grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of planning went into that. The
sure.
end caps, where
yeah.
stuff is located.
Yeah. It's all very strategic.
Very much.
All the candy bars by checkout. It's
Yes.
not on accident.
Yes.
Yeah.
In
That's
the,
Cold pop. Right there.
you ever noticed at what height they put it at too?
Yes,
Oh,
the
yeah.
candy
At the front.
section, flashing. I went into a local grocery store that had flashing lights, candy, with the blinking light. Where are the kids gonna go?
To that.
Not to the broccoli. No
Yep.
one does.
And then it's at the end of your buying experience too. So you
Yep.
get a little more loose. Like you've got your list. Your
Yep.
list is crossed off. You're not focused on that anymore. So it's like, oh yeah, go ahead and throw that in.
Mm-hmm.
We came in a little under budget this time. So here's something extra. You know what? You need a treat.
You did good. You
Throw it
did,
in.
You didn't
Yep.
cry that much.
Yep. So those things at the end caps and those coolers, they're all at child height. Built for a 5 to 10-year-old because they're down there. Like, it does kind of aggravate me because it's manipulative, in my humble opinion.
Of course.
It's not out for your good. It's out to make a sale. And again, I'm not shaming grocery stores or any way. But the strategy behind it.
It's the thoughts too. Like the fact that so nutritional value, candy, how much? Zero.
Is pretty much zero.
Everyone understands that. Let's take away even the diabetes example. There's zero health benefits to candy, yet people are making billions off it.
Yeah.
There's zero health benefits to cigarettes, chewing tobacco, all that stuff, yet people are making billions off it. And it is a thing that you can buy, and people make a lot of money off it.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Got another one of those if you want to hear it at restaurants. You ever notice that they're cold inside?
Mm.
They keep the temperature low because they say when you're cold, you want to eat more.
Oh,
So
interesting.
if you go to a restaurant Pay attention to
and
it.
leave quicker,
Oh, really?
so they can probably get more people.
That may be. I worked at a restaurant when I was in school, and they
there you
like
go.
had us keep the temp. I don't remember what it was. It was cold.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, we want to do this because then people come in and they're going to buy more food because when you're cold, you want to eat.
Oh, interesting.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
More.
So wear layers at restaurants.
I guess.
Or in the summer when you're in shorts and flip flops, be prepared for.
Cool.
Cool.
Might feel
weather.
good in the
air
summer,
condition-
though.
Yeah.
Just go soak it in.
Right.
All right. Where are we at?
We crushed it.
Crushed it.
We're well over an hour and a half now, which
Oh,
is
man.
great. You've answered all my questions that I had.
I'm sure there's some we would want to go deeper into, but not
For sure.
on the same podcast. Maybe
Yeah.
we could split it up.
And I love the idea about having you back on your next trip down to Iowa or wherever you're in. you know?
Done.
So
Yeah.
for sure. I think you're someone that we
We'll
could.
book the flight.
Yeah.
I drove. That's fine.
4.5 hours to get here,
I
right?
did, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Maybe we could take the podcast on the road sometime.
I do think we could. I do
Go
think
up.
we could.
See Minnesota.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Snowda.
Snowda.
That'd be fun. All this, yeah, it'd be a heck of a setup. But yeah, we could easily pack it up and go. So
We have space. We have space.
right
We
on.
can do what we did today.
That'd be cool.
Any closing thoughts?
Man, my hope, my prayer is that whoever listened to this listened to it for a purpose, whether they knew it or not, and grabbed and gleaned something from it.
Right on.
Was able to take something they can implement or see things differently that can better them some way, somehow. That's my only want. That's my thought. So if they didn't, think harder, because there's also no way you can listen to something like this and not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter where you're at in life. So
Right on. You should outro us. Outro music us. I mean,
is it as cool as this?
have a slow head bob.
But
Nice
thanks
little
again for having me.
thought-provoking.
This was a blast. Thank you. A
Right
lot
on.
of gratitude.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
taking the time to get here with us. Episode 7. That's a wrap, as always. I'm Philip.
I'm Isaac.
That was Ken. Dr. Ken.
This has been Unfiltered.
Until next time.